Hi, welcome to Ms. Cooper's art class. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do an Irish knot, but in a circle. I have a basic tutorial already on how to do a basket weave Irish knot, so this is an extension. So I already had an example ready to go to look at. I have some scratch paper, a ruler, a pen, a pencil, and a compass to work with. I recommend a pencil with an eraser or just having a separate eraser as well for just erasing any pencil lines. I also had an example there where I used some black paper instead and a white gel pen. I would also recommend grabbing a protractor. So the first thing you need to do is get that circle ready to go. You really should draw probably at least 3 circles, but I chose to do more just because I wanted it to be a little bigger and really show off the patterns, so I did 5 circles. Once I had my circles ready to go, it was time to go in with a protractor and just mark out. I decided to do every 10 degrees on the circle, so I used a ruler to kind of find the middle, and then that helped guide me when I used my protractor to mark it out. There are a couple ways of doing this, but this is what was easiest for me. Now I knew that I was going to go in and erase my lines later, so I drew mine fairly light. Once you've got everything marked out, it's time to go ahead and connect those dots, and I drew the lines all the way through the middle. Once you've got your lines ready, it's time to add a circle where every single line intersects. After you've gotten all of those circles in there, it's also time to put a circle in the middle of each of those boxes. I made the circles a little bit bigger towards the outside and a little bit smaller in the middle just to make it easier to draw. If you're wondering how to do this or why I'm doing those circles, I do have a tutorial already on how to do that basic basket weave, and I think you'll find that really helpful if you're getting a little confused at this point or maybe haven't seen how to draw those. Now what I do is I just pick a ring kind of right in the middle of my circle, and I'm going to start connecting some of my circles. The reason why I'm working in this ring shape and only doing one part at a time is because I think when I'm working in a circle, it is a little bit easier, it's more manageable, and I know I won't mess it up. If I keep doing it the same way all the way around the ring, I know I really can't go wrong. So what I did was I made sure I connected one way, then I paused, thought about it for a sec, and then I decided to kind of use the method of working my way around a circle to figure out which direction to take my line next. So after pausing and taking a look, it was time to draw the next line, and then I started adding them to my different rings. And when I tell you I paused, I really meant it. I paused for a long time to think. Once I'd established which direction all of the lines needed to go, kind of working my way around one of the circles, I knew what pattern I should follow, and I knew that the lines that faced each other in that basket weave should probably be set up first. So I started going around my circle, connecting my lines, and that helped the pattern come together. And I was really glad that I thought about it for a moment because I had started to do the wrong thing. Although I've done this so many times, I still like to work in pencil first, and I really like to map out what I'm doing before I get too attached to my drawing. At this point I've sped it up. I don't think you need to watch me do every single line of that basket weave pattern, and if you haven't watched the beginning tutorial, you can kind of see how that goes now, and how those circles help me to figure out which lines overlap each other and which ones don't. To do those inner parts, remember those have to curve, so just be very careful with how you look at the lines. I think it's easier to start, kind of like I did here, with some of the lines that are pointing towards the middle, because then you kind of naturally know where to go and know that your line has a stopping point kind of at the end of the curve. You're going to do the same thing when you get to the outside of your circle. So again, I made sure I drew lines all the way to the outer edge. That way all I needed to do was make a quick little curve at the end of each line, and then I knew that this would be woven correctly once I got to the outside. So here's a zoomed out version of just the pencil part. I chose to go in and go over it with pen because I thought that would make it look a little bit better and I wanted to spend some more time with it. So very carefully I started going over the pencil. This is only slightly sped up. You can see I'm going pretty slowly through this part, just making sure that I'm all good to go. But don't worry, I won't make you watch me draw every single line. I'll kind of skip through this, but you can still get the satisfaction of watching all of those little pen lines fall into place. Once again, I was rotating it, this time not because I was afraid I would make a mistake, but really just because it was easier and helped me plant my hand in one place as I went through the drawing. I'm using a Pigma Micron size 08 for going over the lines, and I chose just a nice dark, bold black color because I felt like it would show up really well on camera. This is one of those times when I'm really glad I have the pencil in there first. Initially, those little circles turn more into squares as I add the pen, and I think it's useful to have those so that the little squares in the middle for the weaving end up about the same size and shape. It just makes it more satisfying to look at. Once I was done with the pen, it was time to erase all of those extra pencil lines. And again, this is another rather natural stopping point, but I still wasn't done. What I wanted to do was add just a little bit more shading. So I picked up another Micron pen. This time I picked up a dark gray one. It's a size 05. And to do the shading, although you're not super close, you can kind of see the vibe I'm going for here. I just used some little hatching lines where every single piece of the weaving met. And then I just worked in circles, kind of rotating it away from myself because although these dry quickly, I never would want to smear it. I always want to be careful. So you can see how that starts to build up over time. Here it is up close, so you can see they're just really simple little hatching lines. And as you put them together, it makes a big, big difference. So here it is with the shading, and here is that pen up close. Just to bring it out from the paper a little more and make the shading show up a little better, I also just went in and quickly filled in those middle parts with a black pen, and I think it made a huge difference. I hope this was helpful with drawing a circular Irish knot. If nothing else, this is a good spot to pause the video because you can see this reference right here, and I do have a beginning tutorial in case you need it. I hope you give this a try. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and comment if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.